Hello viewer, I thought I might show you what I've been using my 3D pen for. So what I've got, these are some strut supports for the rear spoiler of my car, and what had happened is the nut holes had actually fully broken through. So they normally had the nuts on this side just quite loosely captured into the plastic, and they pulled through. And fortunately didn't damage the rear spoiler or the boot of the car, but certainly made a mess of these plastic components. Now, it's a reasonably old car, so I haven't been able to find easy replacements of these. So what I did is I started using a hot iron and the ABS filament like I've got here, and melted it into the plastic to fill in the cracks, etc. So this was cracked through the side, pulled the nuts through the top, so did a reasonable amount of difference, damage, sorry. So what I'm basically doing with the 3D pen is, I'm going to fill in these holes, but also I'm going to layer in plastic across the entire base, like so. And how I'm doing this is I'm actually running the hot nozzle on the plastic of the mount, so it provides a little bit of heat there, which actually gives a good grip on the plastic rods. So if I try and pick that off now, it's actually quite firmly stuck to the plastic. Yep, I do have fingernails. So it actually provides a pretty good bond. And I just keep going. Just slowly going through. I don't know if you saw that wisp of smoke there, but that's a pretty good reminder that do this in an open area, or with ventilation. ABS does have fumes, and the same applies if you're using ABS in a 3D printer as well. So basically it does stop every now and then. Every now and then it cools down too far because of the cold ABS going through the nozzle. It actually cools down the nozzle. And once it gets below the temperature I've set it at, which is 235, it'll actually stop to heat up again. If I'm doing little pauses, then it's actually okay. And I've also got the filament extrusion on full. Just seems to suit. Well, okay, there's something that can happen. So it's broken the filament. What I find is it tends to twist up, and then it just puts too much lateral pressure on the filament. So I'll use up the filament that I've got in there. You sort of hear a slight shift in tone, and stick the new filament in, hit the go button, and basically I'm ready to rock again. So I probably should be using a smaller amount of filament attached to it. I mean, that's quite a bit to be hanging off the end and scrolling. And the other thing I could do is I could put it on a reel to help the feeding. But as you can see, I've done neither of that. So I just have to put up with it breaking every now and then. Sometimes I'll see it, that it's getting twisted, and I'll just unplug it and unravel it and go forward again. So that's basically what I've been doing on these, is just putting that layer down. Now where the plastic has actually broken through and needs to hold the nut, what I've done is just put some tape on there, and just go around the outside. And build that up. So I don't have to go all the way through because I actually do want a hole there. Take the paper away and melt that up on the other side, and just basically touching against the original plastic just to get that good bond there. I'll build it up. And then I'll just go back and fill in the gaps. Like so. So, you know, it's pretty rough at this stage, but it gives me the center point where the nuts will go through. And I thought, there we go, I do have a nut handy. I do. I think I do. Oh. And I did. So what I'll do is, yep, so that hole's looking right. I'm just going to build this up a bit. Went to sleep. So one good thing I like with this pen is if you neglect it and just put it down, it doesn't just keep going hot and hot and hot. It'll actually go to sleep, and it'll cool down the end, and when you want to use it you just press it and it's ready to go again. I thought that was quite a good safety feature. So what I'll do now is I'll put that nut in there, like so, and I'll pull it through. I'll bolt it up through the other side. I'll flatten that down first, and I'll heat the nut up and actually push the nut into the plastic to capture it in there. So I'll show you one I've done previously. And this is the other side. So I'm still doing a bit of finishing on the front side. This has a big hole here. This is where the wiring, loom and bush goes through. But if you have a look in there, you see the nuts have been captured in, and can just screw into place. And on the flip side, I've layered in the ABS and layered it around the nuts to capture it, and I've just done a bit of reinforcing to give it as much strength as I can, and it's actually really quite strong. I've layered up the sides as well just to bond it to the base and the sides to give it a lot of strength, and I have a feeling that that's going to be quite sufficient. The nut doesn't turn. I can just thread it in like so, and it's got a lot of strength, very solid. So I think that's going to work a treat. So I just thought I'd show you, this is the reason I actually bought the 3D printer, was to repair these. It's actually works so much better than I thought. I have done some mucking around with PLA on things as well, but what gets me there is my lack of artistry. But using it for a repair like this, no one's going to see this. It's obviously encapsulated inside, so the lack of artistry doesn't matter. I'm fine with repainting this. I'll be able to sand this back and repaint it the same colour, and I'll smooth down the tops where I'm just filling in a few little specks and things where the gaps are. This was really badly damaged. This was the worst one. It was actually completely broken through this hole here in the nut, broken out the side here, so none of that existed. That was all gone. Big hole here, that was all gone. Massive cracks through here, whereas now it's actually really solid, very solid. So really happy. So good practical use for the pen. Really happy with this. It's doing a great job, and you know, this has involved quite a lot of work, and the pen itself hasn't missed a beat. So very pleased with it. So that's all. Just thought I'd show you how I use the 3D pen. Not creatively, but in a much more practical, mundane use, and it's certainly done better than pretty much anything else I could have done, unless I poured in, you know, a 2-pot glue and just smothered the whole thing in 2-pot glue. But actually in the past someone has tried to resin this and it didn't last, whereas I think this is going to last. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.